In today's episode of Marketplace Finds, we have a drivable toolbox, a Volkswagen Beetle with mud tyres and twin stacks, and a Geo Metro with a golf hole that brings a lot of attention. I think this vehicle might just be the most insanely modified car we've seen so far on this channel. If you haven't already looked at the listing name, I want you to guess what make and model this is, because I bet you won't know it. Well, the answer is, it's a 1990 Honda Prelude, so I bet you didn't see that coming. We'll start with the exterior, where we have this crazily designed paint job, featuring a couple of ladies, one of which I had to cut out that was on the trunk lid. It's got these interesting opening doors I don't even know the name of, alongside some chromed out lights. The engine bay is super clean and has been painted to match the exterior, but the owners went even further, painting this intricate design on the valve cover. Now, possibly onto the most insane part of this build is the interior, and honestly there is so much going on here, I don't know where to start. It has these plush looking swivel chairs with a padded design that is also on the floor, and dash, most of which is wrapped in this green fabric throughout. I can't even begin to imagine how many hours were spent on making this. Also, please let me know what these things are, as I have no clue. The owner is after $18,000, but I think the price has now dropped to around $14,000, and honestly, although it's not my style, I can easily see it selling for that much. I don't know whether to love or hate this next one. It's a 1990 Chevrolet Corvette that has been turned into a buggy, but I'd call it a bit of a Frankenstein. The hood and the grille are from a 1960s Firebird, and the doors and roof have been cut off among many other things. It has a rebuilt title to the surprise of no one, but it is street legal. It has the 5.7 V8 with a 6-speed manual, which is honestly where most of the value comes from, as they are after $6,500, which honestly doesn't seem too overpriced. This is what happens when you roast your mate's Volkswagen Beetle too much and they go off the deep end. That's right, it's got a light bar, it's got mud tyres, it's got truck mirrors, but best of all is the huge twin stacks, and the stacks are actually connected to the exhaust and are attached with some custom mounts on the rear quarter panels to hold them up. It's got what looks like a 4-inch lift kit, but considering they are only front wheel drive, I wouldn't be taking it off-roading. The owner is after $7,000 or best offer, but considering it's done over 220,000 miles, I wouldn't pay close to that. Is one of your buddies always trying to show you up at golf? Well, imagine his face when you pull up in this beast. This awesome golf-themed car has just popped up on Marketplace for only $2,000, a steal in my opinion. It was originally a 1990 Geo Metro that the owners cut the roof off, built the outer frame, and put the fake grass on it. All it really needs is a little flag and it'll be a masterpiece. The owner has apparently taken it on 2 road trips and it's got a clean title, so it's ready to go. Got one of those weird uncles who thinks the world is going to end any day now, well, you might want to show them this beast. It's a 2012 Dodge armored vehicle, perfect for those awaiting the eventual zombie apocalypse, or those with a vindictive ex-wife. This one I believe was a money transferring vehicle, featuring an internal deposit safe in the interior and some extra lock boxes. There are only 2 seats with the passenger placed behind the drivers, and the rest of the interior is more reminiscent of a jail cell versus a truck. Even with the extra weight, these can apparently still hit 100 miles per hour, so they still have some power. The owner is asking for $17,500, which is extremely overpriced, as I just happened to see exactly the same vehicle from the same company listed for only $7,000. Next up is the super odd but also super rare 1997 Mitsubishi Pajero Junior Flying Pug Edition, which is quite the mouthful, often ridiculed for their very questionable body styling, looking like an off-road vehicle from the back, and whatever you call this in the front is one of 139 total made. It has an 1100cc engine, has 4-wheel drive and 70,000 miles. The owner is after $5,000, which honestly seems like a good price.
Give me a hell yeah!
You already know this one comes from Florida, being a 2001 Ford Excursion limo. It's rocking a V10 engine and has an absolutely insane suspension setup underneath it, with rear steering, overtime shocks, 48-inch tires, and some massive axles ready to show up the other rednecks at the mud meets. It reportedly does run and drive, but oddly has no seats, and considering the poster didn't put in any interior pictures, I can only assume it's just a hallway with the steering wheel. The owner is after $20,000, and honestly, if it had an interior, I could see someone buying it for that much. Not that I would pay anything close to that. If you're an Evo lover, you might want to look away, as this is a 1998 Mitsubishi Mirage that the owner states has been fully converted to an Evo 5 or 6 from front to back. I don't want to hate the hard work and effort the owner has gone through to get it to this state, but if you have seen an Evo 5, it looks quite a bit different than this. All the extra hood vents, wide body kit, and front canards ruined the look for me, but I'm sure a few people love this style. Under the hood, it's got the legendary 4G63 motor and what looks to be a quick shifter kit. The interior has been gutted with a roll cage, bread or bride bucket seats, and harnesses, so I'm sure it would be awesome around a track. The owner is after $24,000, so unless that price comes down a fair bit, I'd probably save some extra money and buy an imported Evo, as a lot are now past the 25-year rule. Next up we have this 1991 Chevy S10 rat rod build. It's got what can only be described as a Halloween theme, with skulls, skeletons and spiderwebs all over alongside a purple and black paint job. The real star of the show, however, is in the bed where a picture of Elvira resides, although the metal strips kind of ruin it. The actual vehicle build looks to be a little rough around the edges when you look closely in pictures, but that's what these rat rods are all about. It's got a new stroker motor with new wheels and tyres and is listed up for $15,000, which seems a little high, but I'm sure you could talk them down. Ever get sick of the back and forth walk while working on a piece of junk? Well, do I have the buy for you? That's right, it's a drivable toolbox originally made by Taylor Dunn, with the added toolbox on top that you can park up right next to whatever you're working on. Gone are the days of the apprentice bringing you the wrong tools for the 4th time in an hour. Just have them drive this over. Joking aside, this is an awesome setup and would be insanely useful at track events for you and your buddies. The owner is after $13,500, which seems expensive, but considering the cost of these, doesn't seem too bad, especially if you can sweeten the deal with some free tools. On to our next vehicle, we have a 1987 Nissan 300ZX, which I think could make for an awesome project car. The owner is selling as they no longer have any time to work on it, but considering it still runs and drives, won't really need much. They even state there's minimal rust and that it comes with a bunch of original parts. It's hard to see from the pictures, but it is a T-top, and even the paint looks really tidy, so it's either been garage kept or resprayed. It is an automatic, but for only $3,000 for an almost complete project, I think this is a steal. This motorbike is in the less than 1% of bikes that have two-wheel drive. It's a 1974 Rokon Trailbreaker. The owner has had this one for the last 28 years, and as you can see, has done a nice restoration in that time. As you can see in this photo, it has a huge sprocket on the front wheel to give it two-wheel drive, a system only ever done on an extremely small number of bikes. Typically, because of the cost, added complexion to the drivetrain, and it changes the steering and handling. But for a bike like this, it's perfect with the big fat tyres, perfect for going over sand or rocks. The owner is after $3,500, and I think they'll easily get that much. Now this is a sad sight to see, yet another classic car that has sat out in the weather and simply just rotted away. Once a 1967 Chevrolet Impala SS is now about 90% rust, and a former shell of what it used to be. As much as I want to say it's fixable, I think it's far too gone. Even the interior has moss and plants growing in it. It even has full matching VIN and title numbers with the original engine and transmission to match. It's listed up for $8,000, and as a few commenters pointed out, someone will probably pay that just to pull the tags out and put it in another SS they have. This next one has quite a delusional seller, as they have this Bobcat up for sale that obviously caught on fire and is ruined. However, the owner states and believes that both the hydraulic cylinders are fine and that the motor was not damaged. They cannot be serious, thinking the fire didn't destroy both of those when you can easily see the whole thing went up in flames. They should just send it straight to the scrapyard, because there's no way in hell anyone is paying the $3,000 asking price. This next car is unfortunately my most hated vehicle model, but I must admit it seems to be a good buy. It's a good old 2001 PT Cruiser that is in basically collector condition, only having 26,000 miles. And not going to lie, I wouldn't want to be seen driving one of these either, but I have to give props with how clean it is. The exterior looks immaculate except for an added on hood scoop and some wire wheels, but besides that you can tell it's always been garage kept, with the paint being taken care of. Even the interior looks basically brand new, with no visible defects, tears or marks, and as an added bonus, this one comes with a manual transmission. The owner is after $6,000, and I hate to say it, but seems to be a good buy and has possibly already sold. Another episode, another crazy truck conversion, as the owner of this 2013 Dodge Grand Caravan got bored of it after a year and decided to cut the roof off. In all honesty, it looks better than what they do with the roof on, and from the photos it looks like the owner got some good uses out of it, such as the groceries, dirt biking, and even a Christmas tree. It does have a little bit of rust, and I bet if we got some up close pictures it'd reveal a lot more, but at least this owner is only looking for $1,500, which honestly is a pretty good price. Hell, I know a few farmers who would pay that just to have a vehicle to move stuff around their farm. We've seen plenty of high horsepower grocery getters but not one quite like this. It's a 2006 Saab SUV, which is already an uncommon vehicle that the owner must have loved so much and decided to do a full build. The owner reported the build cost them over $70,000 and provided some receipts as proof. They claim it makes 850 horsepower on a conservative tune and can easily reach over 1,000. I really don't know anything about these, but considering that's an $8,000 supercharger, I can believe it. It's sitting on some huge drag slicks, and the owner reports the interior is immaculate, but unfortunately didn't attach any pictures. They're asking for $40,000, so I'll leave it up to you guys, as I have no clue what it's actually worth. Thanks for watching another episode of Garage Gold. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe, and let us know which car in the comments you would buy or not buy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.